is on listings and transactions on Skyslope. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do your listing first, and then I will show you how to do a transaction at the end. Okay, so you can't put a listing in as a transaction first. You need to start it as a listing. Once you have an accepted contract or a purchase contract, then you're going to transfer it over to your transaction that way. Okay, also you have 48 hours to create your listings once you have your MLS active, so you do have to have that in here. Okay, all right, I'm going to go ahead and start here. Once you log in to skyslope.com, your login is usually your email and your password is usually assigned to you. So if you have any questions on logging in, make sure you talk to your office manager directly. They'll be able to help you or reset your password. Also, quick note, once you're in Skyslope, maybe you want to reset your password. Just a reminder up here on the top right, if you click on your name, click on My Account in the top right. You can change your password by clicking on this section here. You do have to know your old password to do that, to change it that way. Again, if you don't remember your password and you need it reset, contact your office manager. Anytime you're in a different screen in Skyslope, if you just click on the logo in the top left-hand corner, it'll bring you back to your main screen. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click on Create Listing, which is right here in the middle of the screen here. And then this is going to walk you through the process when it comes to listings. So it's going to ask you for the property address. When you start typing in the property address, it's going to have a Google search type of drop down. So you can keep typing till you find the address in the drop down. Maybe it's a new construction, so it's not going to be showing up. You can click on Switch to Manual Entry, type in the address. Okay. Put in the zip. It's going to auto-populate the city, state, and the county. Click on Let's Go to push forward. Right here, what type of listing. So this is really important that you select the correct one because it will assign you the checklist. And that means the list of documents that you need to provide your brokerage. So if it's a rental listing, you need to select this. If it's lot or land, commercial lease, commercial sale, and then NV listing, in other words, a residential listing. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Click on Next Question. How much is the property listed for? So let's do $345. Next question. Listing commission, is it 3% on each side? Okay. Or maybe it's 2.5. You would just type in 2.5. If it's a flat rate, you would just click on Switch to Flat Rate and put that in. If you have a co-listing agent, you would add them there by clicking on that box. Otherwise, click on Next Question. Listing date, this is where you would put the listing date. Expiration date, this is the expiration date of the listing. Click on Next Question. What year was the property built? What's the source of the deal? So in other words, how did you get this lead? Maybe it's prospecting, maybe it was an old client, things like that. Next question, who's the selling, so in other words, who's the seller? So I'm going to type in John Doe, and if there's more than one seller, you're going to click on Add Additional Seller, put in the second seller, click on the X if that does not apply. If it is a company, so if it's an LLC, if it's a trust, you're going to click on this and put the company name. Okay, I'm going to click back on to Personal Seller and click on Next Question. If you need to go back, you're going to click on this little arrow over here on the far left, and it'll take you back through. Okay. Once you're done, right here, it's going to ask you to review this. If everything looks good, you can go ahead and click on Create My Listing. You still have the opportunity to change information once you're in here. It doesn't mean you're completely done. Right here in Listing and in Contacts, those are the two tabs that you just completed through that section. So you can always go back into Listing, change the information that you need to if you should choose to do so, and Contacts. Okay, so we added the seller. So you can still update information if you choose to do so. All right, so I'm gonna go to the checklist. This is what it looks like for a residential listing for those of you in Las Vegas, Nevada. You'll notice you'll see required. These are required documents that you have to provide for to your broker. Okay. The other ones are if applicable. Doesn't mean they're not necessarily required. Okay. So if there is a trust, maybe it is or an LLC, you need to provide those documents here. So those would be required. Okay. Also, if it's a referral, you need to make sure you put your referral documents, things like that. Okay, so how do you get your documents into this section? There's a couple ways, but the first way I'm going to show you is to apply them right into the checklist. So I'm going to click on the word attach. And you'll notice, let me go back real quick. So I'm right here in the listing agreement. I'm just going to go right here where it says attach. I'm going to click on upload document. This means I have the documents saved to my computer already. I'm going to find my documents. And of course, that's not really my listing agreement. I have just random documents in here, so bear with me. Of course, that would be your listing agreement that you would really put in there. So what happens there is it automatically submits that document for review to your compliance division. Okay. You also see a paper clip there. That means something has been attached. I ran my cursor over it, so then it pulled up my document. So of course that would normally be your listing agreement. You'd be able to pull it up and see what it looks like. I'm going to X out of there. You can also remove it by clicking on the X, and that will remove the document. Okay. If you have more than one document to add on top of that, you can click on attach and keep adding them. Okay. Duties owed, if you need to add the next document, you would just go to this section here, attach, upload document, find the document. Again, I'm just picking documents that are not the real documents. You would of course put the accurate documents in here. You'll notice my paper clip and then my X, okay? Again, to view the document, you click on the paper clip, it'll open a new window. You can also put your cursor over it. It should open it. There you go. If you put your cursor over it, it'll open the document without opening a new window. Okay, so that's one way to get your documents in there, and you know it goes right into that checklist item. Same thing happens down here on any of these applicable, or if applicable, you can do the same thing. It's no different, okay? You have another way to get the documents in here. And this is in your Documents tab right here. Okay, so you'll notice these two documents here. You've got these little paper clips. These are the two documents that I just put into the checklist. If I wanted to bring, let's say I have the whole listing packet and the client wanted to send them all to me at once, or I wanted to send them to myself, okay? I have them all signed and I just want to send them into this transaction, I can do that. This email right here, let me get my pen. If I can find my pen real quick. Oh, here it is. Okay, so this email right here will, this is transaction specific. So what that means is, it's not by property address, so it is by transaction. So each time you create a transaction or a listing, that will be specific to this particular area. So you could have multiple properties, and maybe it's a listing and maybe it's a sale, and you have the wrong transaction or listing, and you've got the wrong documents. So it is specific on particularly on which one you've created. So if I wanted to send documents into this one, I could copy this by starting on the E over here and working my way to the right, left to right to copy. If you go left, if you try and go left, right to left, it won't let you copy. But if you go left to right, you're able to copy. Hold down left click and right. right click and copy, go to your email. So your client could do this too. You could give them that email. I highly recommend CCing or adding your other email as well, just so you know that it goes. And they have, and you get your other documents as well to your email. And so I'm going to just say listing packet, and then I'm going to attach a whole bunch of documents here. Okay, so I'm just going to pretend this is all my listing docs. I'm going to click on send. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my documents tab. It's going to take a second and then they'll end up appearing here. While I'm waiting for this one to show you what this log is, every transaction and listing has a log, so you'll be able to see when it's created, what's been uploaded, if compliance has viewed your document, if compliance has added a document, all kinds of stuff. So you have all kinds of options here. Also a note, you'll be able to see if somebody's entered a note, all kinds of things. So which is a great option for you to see there. Tasks, if you want to create a task for yourself, you're able to do that. If you do create tasks, I highly recommend you setting your notifications up in here in your test agent, or sorry, in your profile, and I'll show you that at the end. Okay, so you want to make sure you get notified if you are doing your tasks. All right, I'm going to go back to documents over here, see if they made them over. It did. So right here, you'll notice there's no paperclip. That means they're not attached to anything in my checklist. So we can do it two different ways. To get them over to your checklist, you can click on the box to the left, okay? And then click on the word assign. And then if you click on this section here, it's gonna give you a drop down. So you can choose, let's say this is my MLS ER, and click on assign. And then it's gonna go ahead and assign it to that checklist item. So if I go over to my checklist, it's got it assigned to this particular section, okay? So let's say maybe I've got a couple of my disclosures and they're all bunched together, but I need to get them separated. So let's go ahead and separate this one. Let's do this one here. I want to split this one and I want to put it in my checklist. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the word split. And then I'm going to pretend, just bear with me here, but I'm going to say my SRPD. So I'm going to start typing SRPD, and you'll notice it comes up in here. I'm going to say it's page 1 to 2, okay? And then I'm going to pretend my residential disclosure guide is page 3 to 3. Of course, it's not, okay, but I'm just going to pretend that's what it is so I can split my documents, okay? Okay, so I've got everything split up, and I'm going to go ahead and click on split and assign. I'm going to go to my checklist so I can show you what it did. Okay, so of course those are not real documents, but I just wanted you to see that it will split up the documents for you. Okay, I'm going to go back to my documents tab. Okay, to assign, click on the box to the left, click on assign. Click on this section here, find the drop down of the section you want to assign it to. Okay. Again, any documents that don't have a paperclip are not attached to anything in the checklist. I'm going to go back to the checklist real quick. I want to show you something real quick. Over here, you'll see this right here. It says accepted contract. If you are missing any required documents in your listing, you will not be able to move this over to transaction side. You have to move it over to transaction side to proceed for the accepted purchase contract, okay? So you do have to move forward with that. You do need to have all your required listing docs in here to be able to proceed forward, okay? All right, let me remove that. Okay, so I'm gonna add one more doc so we can get going. Click on attach. These documents that are appearing down here are the documents that I sent to my document tab that have not been assigned to a checklist. So I could do it here if I wanted to, or I could find one that are saved to my computer. I'll go ahead and just assign one that's in my document list. And that was pretty confusing, so I'll show you again real quick. So these are the documents that I pulled in. Remember, I emailed them into this. These are the documents that I emailed in. They don't have a paperclip, okay? If I click on my checklist, and if I click on attach, these are the two documents that don't have a paperclip. They're sitting in my documents tab. If I just click on assign, it's going to move it right over into my checklist there. Okay, so that's pretty quick and easy to do as well. Okay, so if I'm ready to go and I'm ready to move it over to my transaction side, I'm going to go ahead and click on accepted contract over here on the right. Once you click on that, you're going to see it says incomplete over here. And then you're going to be able to move forward here. MLS number, of course, you would put in the MLS number. I'm going to type in none because I don't have one. You're going to notice the red asterisks. You do need to put in all of the red asterisks to be able to move forward. You're not going to be able to go to the next section until you have all of that complete. There are a lot of questions on how do I get to my checklist? I can't find my checklist. I'm not able to put anything in. You'll see you're in your transaction tab here. The next tab that will come up is your contacts tab, and then your commission tab, and then your checklist, documents, log, all of that. So you have to do all these little sections to be able to move forward. So you do have to fill out all the little red asterisks to go forward. So you do have to follow the steps. Okay, so we've got red asterisks. A lot of it's auto-populated already from the listing. Checklist type. This is a big deal here. So what you select here will determine what checklist you're going to be filling in for documents. If it's your listing and it's a buy side of the listing, it's going to be listing deal. Okay, so that's the one you're going to select for this particular one. Okay. Again, it varies in your office, so make sure if you have any questions, double check with your office manager before you even do anything. It's more important to have the right checklist in the beginning than if you would have already uploaded all your documents and then have to do it over. Okay, so make sure you do that. All right, so I'm going to keep going through all of the red asterisks. Co-listing agent, if you have a listing agent that you didn't add in the beginning, you can add them here. Sales price, did you get asking price? I'm going to say yes. Is this an office lead? No, it's not. Okay, I don't have an escrow number. Close date, I'm going to say it's the 28th. Acceptance date, we're just going to say the 9th. Okay. You can change the status if you want to, but I can just leave it blank. Okay. Okay, so again, everything in red, the red asterisk is required. Once you're done, you can click on the word next at the bottom right. Right here it says acceptance date is can't be in the future, so we're going to click on 6th. Anything in red up here will tell you exactly, especially if you're missing anything with the red asterisks, you've got to fix that before you can go forward. Here's your contacts tab, so we're moving forward. We've got seller, landlord, so you've got your green check mark here. You'll notice these red asterisks over here. These sections have to be filled out to move forward. So now we're next on your purchaser tenant. We've got a red asterisk. So we got to put the buyer in here. Sorry about that. So these two items are required. We have save at the top and save at the bottom. You don't have to, it doesn't matter which one you select, they're both the same. So you can select either one. You'll notice I have a green check mark here. So that means I can move forward to the next section. Title, escrow, attorney. So we can go ahead and just select title up here, it's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and put the closing officer's first name. I always just use Laura as my example. Okay, phone number, title company, email. If you're doing well, I'll actually go over that when I'm doing transactions here, but okay, so that at least gets you going there. For those of you in Hilton Head, South Carolina, you guys use attorneys, you can fill that out down here. Again, or you can use the title company feature. Either way, whatever works for you. Click on Save. Again, the top section and the bottom save are the exact same. You can select one or the other. It's personal preference. We've got a green check mark, and we're ready to move forward. Agent representing the other side. This is the other, so this would be the buyer's agent. I'm going to use Bob Smith. Put in phone number, Signature Real Estate Group, and we'll go ahead and click on Save. We'll use the Save at the bottom. Okay, so now we've got all these green check marks. That means we're good to go. You can put in the lender as well, home warranty. This information saves for 7 years, so it's always great to have the information. You can always go back in the file, and it's always a great reference to go back, okay? All right, over in the corner, you've got, on the right-hand side, you've got Submit. So until all these green check marks appear, you won't have the word Submit. Once you do, that will appear. You can click on Submit, and you're able to move forward. The word Commission tab will show up. You've got your sales price already in here, and your listing commission and your sales commission is already appearing. So you're good to go. Everything required in this field is good. You don't need to fill out anything in this section at this time. Okay. Go ahead and click on Submit. And then there's your checklist. Okay, so that's how you're able to move forward through the process. Right here, I'm going to show you down below. These are all of your listing documents you've already put in. Your documents here in your Documents tab are all still here. You still have one that hasn't been assigned. That's fine. Just leave it in the storage. Go back to my checklist. It'll show you what is required, what's not required. So you've got your RPA, which is your purchase agreement, your fully executed SRPD, which is signed by buyer and seller. So everything here that's required, you're going to do the exact same thing. Attach, upload document, find it on your computer, pull it in. You can also send it to your email there, send all the documents in there, and attach it from your Documents tab again. Okay. Attach, upload, and then I'm going to send some more documents to the email just so you're used to this. I'm going to highlight that, copy, open up my email, paste that email, throw some documents in there. Send them through. And of course, they're not real documents. It's going to take a second for them to come through. I'll show you my log. It's going to tell you everything going on. You'll notice I've got all this. Okay, so these are my contacts that I've been putting in. They also save to your directory as you go in. This is telling me that I sent all of my my emails through my attachment. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my documents, see if they arrived yet. Looks like they did. Again, done all my paper clips. So again, I can separate them by splitting. Let me show you one more time how to split. Click on the word split. Okay, so you can start saying the word, so you can start typing. Let's see, what do I have to put on there? What do we have to put on the MLS sold? Let's see, what else do we need to put on? The transaction side, prelim. So I'm going to pretend we've got page 1 through 1 and page 2 through 3. We're going to pretend these are the two items that I'm going to split. And I'm splitting these pages, and I'm going to click on Split and Assign. I'm going to go to my checklist. And then you'll see here. Okay. So I tried to do RPA and it wouldn't let me because I already had it assigned. That's why it wouldn't allow that. Okay. Again, if I wanted to attach from here, I could click on attach. And if I have them sitting in the documents tab, I could go into here and it would attach it straight from there. It's going to be up to you and your personal preference what works best for you. Ashley Pay does a lot of the commission disbursement training, so she'll be able to show you how to fill that out, and it works really well. That will work best. The breakdown, how she wants it, so that way it works great on how you can get paid fast, okay? Okay, so that is how you get your listing in, okay? You have all your documents in here. I want to show you what it looks like when a document is reviewed, or when documents are reviewed. Let me move this stuff out of the way. Okay, so when we are reviewing docs, let's see here. What transaction am I on? 487. Oh no, where did I put it? Where did I put it? There it is. There we go. Okay, so 487. So when something is accepted, I'll kind of show you. And of course, they don't really review documents like this. But when something's accepted or rejected, let's say it's rejected because you're missing initials on page 5, or you're missing a signature on page 3 and check mark on page 6. Okay, so let's just say that, okay? I want you to see what it looks like. And then they will update you. And you'll get an email with the whole transaction, what it looks like. Let me get out of this here. And it may not go to my email. Let's see. But this screen right here, this image will show up in your email, so you'll be able to see completed, completed. Everything will be green if it's approved. This right here will show incomplete. That means something's been rejected. It'll tell you right here on the side why it's been rejected. So you'll need to fix that. Okay. And to fix that, it'll tell you exactly what you need to do. You can correct it, remove it, or attach something over it. Click on attach. Once you've corrected it, pull it back in. It's going to resubmit it for review. You don't have to do anything else over it. Okay, it resubmits it for review. Of course, those will be corrected, okay? So you don't have to do anything with those. You'll notice I added documents over and then my X's are gone. So how do you remove something if the X is gone? If you want to remove something and the X is gone, if you click on the paper clip, it's going to show them stacked here. So you just click on the X to remove it. Okay. Again, click on the paper clip and then you can click on the X to remove it. It just stacks it. You can also put a note to your compliance and just say corrected and save. And then you'll also have a log. If you click on your log, you'll notice you've got notes. Okay. Check note. Okay. So that's listings. And And that's the part of the transaction part of it. Okay. Somebody had questions on what this is. If you click on Get Paid Now, it doesn't do anything, but it will tell you the cost of it. If you do go through, it's a commission advance. You do have to get approval through your broker. So make sure you read the fine print. It is a commission advance. There are charges to it. So, okay. All right. But that is not how you get paid. You get paid through direct deposit. You don't have to use that. That is a totally different system. So, okay. Also, I want to show you this real quick, transaction summary. This shows you everything going on with your transaction. So if you wanted to add lender and things like that, you'll have extra tabs here, but this kind of gives you a breakdown. Great little feature to have just in case you want a cheat sheet on what's going on. Okay. All right, so that's listings into transactions. That's after you have a purchase agreement. I'm going to go over transactions real quick. It's basically the same thing as this type of screen here, but we're going to click on the logo in the top left-hand corner. If you have a buyer, you would create transaction right here in the middle. Again, you could search for the address. It's a Google search. And then you'll notice the drop down. If it is not, maybe it's a new construction, it would not be in Google. Type in MLS number, or if it's a lot, of course, it would not have MLS. So type in none or NA. You have to type in everything with the red asterisk. Okay. And go ahead and find residential buy side. Street number. It's going to fill in the state, city, and county for you. I don't have a co-buyer agent. Representing, we'll say purchase tenant side. Sales price. Year built. Source, let's say it was a previous customer. Office lead, no. Closing date, let's just say September 7th. Acceptance date, we'll say today. And we'll click on next. Okay, so now I've got my contacts tab. Remember how I said we got to get through all these little steps? So it's exactly the same once you have a purchase contract on a listing. So it's just pushing it over. You're going through the same steps and you're just going through these little tabs. So I've got my little red asterisks. I've got to follow those steps. You notice I don't have my little submit tab over here. I've got to go through these little tabs. Got to put my seller in. I'm going to say John Doe on this. Click on save. Again, you can do save at the top or save at the bottom. I'm going to click on purchaser tenant right here. Go to the next tab, do Jane Doe, put in the phone number, click on save, and then you go to the next section. So you got to go through all of them until they have the green check marks. So I'm going to go ahead and use Laura again. Phone number. But it's the same process as the listing purchase site. Click on save. Agent representing the other side. We'll go back with Bob. And signature real estate group. Click on save. Okay, so we've got all these green check marks. Those are good to go. I can fill out the other sections if I want to, or click on submit on the far right. Got my commission tab here. It's a little bit different than my listing because I don't have my listing commission. I don't need to put that in. I do need to put my selling commission on here. So I'm going to say 3% is my portion. I don't need to put the rest of this in here. It's kind of giving me my breakdown already with my commission. That's without my transaction fee. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and click on submit. And then you're going to notice my checklist. So here's my required documents and then my if applicable. Okay. And then you would do exactly the same thing to get your documents in there, okay? You would click on attach, upload, pull in your documents. Okay. And then again, you've got this document, this transaction email. This is totally different than the other one. You would do exactly the same thing, copy that email and send all the documents into this document tab. Okay. I'm not going to go through the whole process so I don't mess up the poor compliance team, but that gives you an idea. Okay. Same thing with the log. Okay, so you've got that information there. Tasks are the same way. Set up your task. Property. This, I haven't figured out the use for this yet. This basically is just a fill-in form, a data entry. Okay. Again, you've got your transaction summary. So this gives you information on the form for you. Okay. If you need to go back and change something, a lot of the transactions will show expired. And so I have a lot of phone calls on why it shows expired. If you go into your transaction, in fact, you can click on this little circle up here. If you click on it and start typing in the name of your property, you can go right into there and click on your transaction. You can go into your closing date. And that's what's going on. That's why it's saying it expired. You can change your closing date. That's why it's saying it's expired. Okay? It just means it's gone past that date, which happens. You know, it definitely happens. So that's one thing. Also, I want to show you another way to get into it. Let me go into, I'm going to click on my logo. If you ever are trying to get back into the transaction, once you log into the system, instead of clicking here, which this is the fastest way to get into your transaction or your listing. If you click on the circle, type it in, it'll take you right to it. If you're trying to get into your listing and you don't want to do it that way, you click on Manage Listing, type it in, the property there, and you can find it. Click on Search and then click on it. If it's your transaction, which is the one I just did, let's see. You would click on Manage Transaction. I only have a few here so I can find them, but you would typically type in the property address here, find it from the drop down, and then you have to click on it, and then that's how you would get into it, okay? Otherwise, your little search button up here is great to find it. Also, quick tip, there's a support tab up here, this little person icon with the headset. If you click on her or him, you have options. You have this little tab over here. You can write a question in there and hit Start Chat. They will service the email session, the chat session right away. They are really good about helping you right away and answering your questions. Right here, you can, maybe you want to know how to create a listing. Type it in right there. It'll give you all of the step-by-steps right here. You can do a visual guide or the step-by-step.
Get started with creating a listing file in Skyslope. On the homepage, start by clicking on Create Listing.
Okay.
First, you'll be prompted to
So there's tutorials all the way through the system. And it can be anything, create a transaction. It can be how to upload documents, how to send documents through email. It can be how to do DigiSign, all kinds of stuff. There's instructions on everything in here. So lots of tutorials in here. So if you have any questions on that, I will show you real quick. If you click on your name in the top right and click on My Account, notifications right here. Here's your task, okay? I told you I'd show you how to do that, so that's where it is. Okay, so that is the training. I went pretty fast because this is really just for recorded session to be able to put on our training menus. So, all right. Thank you so much.